Don't miss the 34th annual Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest, presented by Berks Arts, April 4th through the 13th, 2025. Celebrated as one of the best festivals in the world, including top-name traditional, contemporary, and R&B performers. 10 exciting days of concerts, jams, and more. The 34th annual Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest. Tickets on sale now. For the latest artist, venue, and scheduling info, and for tickets, check out berksjazzfest.com.
Hello and welcome to Behind the Lines. I'm Diane Dayton. And yes, we are on the road. We are at the place for live jazz in central Pennsylvania. We're in Philly at South, and we are on the stage. And we're here to talk about the 34th annual Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest, and I'm with the one and only Marcus Anderson, jazz musician, entrepreneur. You're an artist, and boy, there's so much to talk about.
Yeah. Great to be here. Thank you for having me, Diane.
Yeah, we'll get into the entrepreneur right here.
Yeah.
But saxophone. Well, you've been playing since you were about 12, is that right?
Yeah, 12 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, I started playing with my dad. He used to make me sit in front of his bed, and he would make me listen to this music without words, and on the Weather Channel. And I'm like, what is this? Why do I have to sit here? Not knowing that he was kind of grooming me to be like a future musician. And eventually my dad said, I'm going to play the saxophone. He said, you're going to be great. You're going to travel around the world. And I've been traveling. I don't know if I'm great yet, but I know I'm still striving to be. And, it's been great just, enjoying music and enjoying learning what the saxophone still is even today.
Yeah, well, you are a performer, and you come by this naturally. You were always singing and dancing and that sort of thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Growing up, I used to watch a lot of James Brown, a lot of Michael Jackson. Prince kind of came later on, but like people like Neo and like Usher, they were like heavy influences for me. I considered myself to be like a dancer, singer first, and then I switched over to saxophone, and then I didn't know that saxophone was going to be my vehicle to really get me out into the entertainment field. So yeah.
Oh, you're just infusing all of those elements into what you do.
Have to, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I know everybody wants to hear about this because I know I want to hear stories because you have stories of playing with Prince. And you did that for 4 years, didn't you? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I think it was 2012 or something?
Yeah, 2012 to 2016. And it was great. We worked together in the studio. We ended up, recording so many different songs, some that still aren't released to today. We did the Essence Festival. We went overseas. We went up into Switzerland. I think it was the Montreux Jazz Festival in Switzerland, and went to Canada with him. And he actually got to feature me on his last album that he released before his transition. The album was called Hit and Run Phase 2, and I played on a song called Revelation. And then I played sax and flute on a song called Look at Me, Look at You.
Wow.
And that was great. We had so many like good memories and stuff that we did. And believe it or not, I was younger than I was about 28 when I started working with him. And there were so many things that we did and we thought we were going to get fired. I had young, energy, and I had my buddies with me, BK and Adrian and Keith Anderson. And all we did was just, shenanigans. And we have a Dropbox folder of like Paisley Park shenanigans of all the stuff that we did while we were there. So
yeah, well, it is about having a good time too.
Yeah.
And that translates on the stage, and it translates to the recordings that you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, it was a lot of late hours.
Yeah, but a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely.
But you got introduced to coffee, I think, your time with Prince. Is that right?
Yes.
What happened?
So I wasn't like a big fan of coffee because when I was a little kid, I remember my mom, it smelled great. I'm like, Mom, let me try coffee. And she drank it black. So, as a 6-year-old kid, you're drinking coffee, no flavor. It isn't sweet, Right. And I'm like, yo, this is nasty. So like all the way up until like being an adult, a buddy of mine, she took me to Caribou Coffee. I remember it was in Chanhassen, Minnesota. We had a break. She said, baby boy, you got to stop drinking those energy drinks. So I ended up, going with her, and we had, a latte. I remember it was a caramel latte. I said, oh, this is good. So like that started the cycle of me liking coffee, and I started kind of exploring the world of coffee and the different types of coffees. Went to like a coffee college, and then learned more about how the water affects the coffee that you make and the different grinds that you can have. Then next thing I know, that was 2012. Fast forward to 2015, I'm releasing my own coffee line. And that all came from me just working with Prince. And remember earlier I said we had a lot of late hours.
Yes.
Yeah, so the coffee played in with
Played
those
into
late
that
hours.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the whole coffee college, boy, you learned a lot through that to be able to do what you're doing.
Yeah. I got some training with during the time it was the world's #1 barista who lived in my area in North Carolina, and his name was Lemuel Butler, who now has his own locations of coffee shops in North Carolina. Has like 5 locations. So I got to kind of learn some things from him, and then he pointed me in the right directions and helping me develop my coffee brand.
Yeah.
So it was really cool. It was an interesting 1.5 to 2 years to really just kind of be and study under him and learn things about coffee that I never knew existed.
Well, I think at Berks Jazz Fest, we're going to get to learn about your coffee.
Absolutely.
Because for those people that are going to come to that brunch on that last Sunday, which is the 13th of April, they're going to get to sample and have coffee during the brunch. Is that right?
Absolutely, and hopefully I'll get to keep them caffeinated the whole weekend. That's my plan.
Yeah.
We
So,
want them at all the concerts, all the late night jams, all the stuff. We want to
Yeah.
make sure we get them going.
yeah, so there'll be a coffee clutch. There's going to be that wonderful breakfast, and then you've got that great show.
Yeah.
The finale. There's some great artists in that.
Oh yeah, we have me. I should say me last and save. I'll say Kenny Lattimore, Julian Vaughn, and myself. And those 2 artists, I mean, they're amazing.
Yeah.
Julian and I, we've been working together for about 15 years now. Kenny Lattimore, I met him about 5 years ago. We've been recording and doing shows together.
Yeah.
We've done a few shows together as a trio, but now we get to do it again at the Berks Jazz Festival. So very excited about that. 3 artists, 1 stage, 1 show.
All right.
So it's going to be a really, really good time.
And that one is on Saturday before we have the finale with the brunch, so we'll be doing that. On the
Yeah, I think
12th.
that was Friday at noon. I could be
Yeah.
wrong, but
Well, according to what I have.
they can
it's
go to the
12th.
website. They can go to the
It's
website.
12th.
Yeah, the 12th.
So yeah, they can check it out because you're going to be all around that whole weekend.
Yeah, I'll be there the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see me just bopping around and just say hey.
Yeah. Now you are an entrepreneur, so you are branching out in some other things as well too.
Yeah.
One of those is comics.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that.
Well, I do like comic books. I like superhero stuff. I like all those things because I grew up as a kid. I had a wild imagination. I was always creating stuff. And I knew that, I loved music and I loved comic books. And when I got older, I was riding my bike one day and I had this bright idea that just hit me. I said, man, musician superheroes. And that's what the idea kind of sparked from when I was riding my bike, and I was just kind of like creating the idea of the characters and like what their powers and superpowers would be, mostly based on like sound abilities, like echolocation, and like being able to like sound blast like a siren out of your voice, and then like musicians using their gifts to be able to like save the world. So and that's kind of the model of the comic book, which is called The Creatives.
Yes.
And the slogan is music saves the world. So that's
And
we
it does.
released that in 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know, well, with the vibe, we've got Any Way You Want It.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We're hearing that now. That's great.
No, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. So tell me the whole thing with coffee, because we're talking about sharing the love of music and coffee with the world.
Yeah. Oh man. I guess, you always got to pair music with something. Music pairs well with anything. I mean, you can pair, wine with a good cheese, a liqueur with a cigar. But when it comes with music, it pairs well with anything. So, and coffee is kind of close to it. So I always knew that I wanted to do some type of beverage and music event too. And that's when I came up with the idea too, to do like a jazz and coffee festival. No one was really doing it when I saw went and researched it, and I didn't see any festivals like that. I was like, oh, this would be a cool idea. So, coffee just kind of stayed in my life. It never left, because when you drink coffee, for me, it inspires me to like do more.
Yeah.
And maybe that's going to be to like a fault one day, because I'm always creating ideas. But like the coffee thing, started off as a need, and then it became into a lifestyle. And that's what music is too. Music is a lifestyle. Coffee drinkers have the lifestyle of getting up in the morning. It's a routine. Going to jazz festivals, jazz events. All of it's lifestyle based, in like with our demographic of people that support what we do. We just want to continue to give them that level of lifestyle that they can really enjoy.
Yeah.
And coffee is really just the best way to do it.
Yeah, it sure is. When you are playing on stage, tell me what you're feeling, because you have so much fun up there. It comes across that way. But what's going on in your head, your heart?
Oh man, prior to like when I wake up and I know I have a show that day, I'm very intentional about meditating and praying and like being in the right headspace. A lot of times when you're traveling, it doesn't matter how much sleep you get. I mean, your frame of mind really dictates how your show's gonna go. So I always try to make sure, I pray, talk to God, and really get my mantra right and make sure I'm in the right headspace. Then the rest is smooth sailing after that. But if you go in kind of being disgruntled, you kind of like have a bad show. For me, that is. But I like just going and thinking it's going to be a great show. Somebody's going to get something out of this. Somebody's going to be blessed. Somebody's going to feel a moment. So when I'm up on stage, I just try to have this energy and this mindset of peace. And I want to make sure that I'm in the right frame of mind and energy and spirit, that what I'm playing and it's going to the people, that I'm giving them something that's good. Yeah.
Wow, you've got me excited. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So we're going to get to try your coffee at Berks Jazz Fest.
Yes.
And where do we get it now if we want to check into that? Where do we go?
You can go to andproducts.net. It's like my last name, Anderson. The name of the brand is And Coffee, and I have a couple of different products we're going to be releasing. But go to andproducts.net, or they can go to majace.net. That's my festival website, majace.net, and they'll just be able to get coffee.
Oh, I can't wait to hear you. Can't wait to see you. Can't wait to try the coffee.
Yeah.
Do you want to leave us with one final thought?
One final thought. I guess I would have to say, with the year being 2025, it's been an interesting year so far. I think we just got to think about each other, get out of self, be mindful of what we say and how we treat others.
Absolutely.
Yeah, put others before. Our purpose here is to serve others. It's not to serve ourselves. Some of us get it wrong from time to time, but if we think about the next person, I think we'll be all right.
And I think if we lead with love.
Lead with love.
Lead with love.
Yeah, it's all tied together.
Yeah. It was really good catching up with you.
No, thank you.
Yeah, take care, Marcus.
Thank you, Diane.
We're going to have a really good time at Berks Jazz Fest, and it is coming up on April 4th through the 13th, and go to berksjazzfest.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Eben, chair of Get Jazz, the educational arm of the Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest. We're excited for this year's 34th annual event as we do the RMF Project Penske Jazz Jam, which will be the first Monday of the Jazz Festival. We always look forward to that, and our good friend Gerald Veasley, who will be there with lots of great artists. We have actually 3 days of educational events happening. We're going to have, besides Gerald, our good friend from the Bronx, Albert Rivera, will be there. His friends from the Litchfield Jazz Camp, Dave Ballou, trumpet player, and then the Curtis brothers, Zakai and Luquez. Zakai is a recent Grammy winner. So we're happy for him, and we're happy to have them on board. We'll also have Eric Marienthal performing with us. Curtis McCain will be on hand. It's going to be a great time, and we're going to have a lot of fun, I think.
I can't wait.
We'd love to have students come out for this event. It's a student jam. We'll have all our guest artists performing and have students come up on stage with us as well. So we hope you'll join us.
Don't miss the 34th Annual Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest, presented by Berks Arts, April 4th through the 13th, 2025. Celebrated as one of the best festivals in the world, including top-name traditional, contemporary, and R&B performers. 10 exciting days of concerts, jams, and more. The 34th Annual Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest. Tickets on sale now. For the latest artist, venue, and scheduling info, and for tickets, check out berksjazzfest.com.
Welcome back to Behind the Lines. I'm Diane Dayton, and we are on location at the fabulous South in Philadelphia, the place to go for live music. And I'm with Gerald Veasley. And Gerald, you are the music host at the 34th Annual Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest, and you've been there many, many years, haven't you, Gerald?
It's an honor to be associated with the festival, and I think some 32 of the 34 years I've been involved, and I just love the community. I love all the folks that are involved with the festival, our good friend John Ernesto, of course, the engine that makes it go. And of course, it's a reunion where I get to see a lot of my colleagues and fellow musicians.
Absolutely. And it's great to be here on this stage here in South. Tell us just briefly a little bit about this location.
Yeah, so this is my home away from home. Every week we host a series called the Unscripted Jazz Series, going on 10 years, where we bring in some of your favorite artists, national acts. And my band supports those artists, and it's been really a lot of fun. And the food is great here too.
Absolutely.
It's great ambiance, and yeah, it's a wonderful place to present music.
I love the intimacy here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's such a great connection with the artists
That's
and with
right.
the audience too,
Yeah,
isn't
you can
it?
feel the energy. There's not a bad seat in the house.
No.
And so, yeah, it's a perfect venue for the music.
So if we're talking about unscripted, that's what we're calling the late night jams now, right?
That's right.
Tell everybody what they're all about. They are so much fun.
Well, you know, what we love about jam sessions is you never know what's going to happen. The artists are taking chances. They're playing music that they wouldn't necessarily play on the main stage. They come and really just let their hair down. You never know who's going to show up. It's just always a fantastic show. And there's shows that sell out. So,
Oh yeah.
you know, I don't want to promote it too hard, but folks who are watching this, if you want to come to the unscripted jams, make sure you get your tickets right away.
Yeah, and it's Friday night and Saturday night the first weekend, and then Friday night the second weekend.
That's right. That's right.
And we've moved it to 11:30 instead of starting at midnight, right?
Yeah, not by choice, but just to be sane. Yeah, and you know, it's a lot of fun, and it's also great for folks who they come from the main stage shows,
Yeah.
and then they still have that energy, they're excited, and then we offer them something that they've never seen before.
And that's really true, because it is magical with who happens to show up, and there are people that you don't even think are going to show up, and they do.
That's right.
And
That's
I
right.
love that. So you've got other things going on too. One of the things that so many people love coming to, and I do too, is the Chuck Loeb Memorial All-Star Jam. And that is just amazing. You
Yeah.
and Rick Braun are the music hosts of that, correct?
Yeah, we're the music hosts, and it's great to organize the performance with my good friend Rick Braun. He's amazing, and we always do this to celebrate the memory of our dear friend Chuck Loeb, who was important to this festival and important to us as artists. Just a sweet human being, an amazingly talented musician and producer. So it's in that spirit that we bring this event every year. This year we've got people like Bobby Lyle, Eric Darius, Eric Marienthal, Mindy Abair. It's really an all-star show, and everybody gets a chance to shine. And in the same way that I talked about the unscripted jams, it's a little bit different than what you would normally hear them, and you can see these artists just elevate their games. Very special.
Absolutely. So it's always that Thursday, and it's at 7 o'clock.
That's correct.
Yeah, I just don't want to miss that one at all.
No,
Not at all.
you shouldn't miss that.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. So there's a great educational component to Berks Jazz Fest that I think is really important to talk about. And I think you, along with Mike Eben, are doing some amazing things. Tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, Mike Eben has launched something called the Get Jazzed event, and he has a deep passion and affinity for these young musicians who are the next generation. So there are many workshops featuring some really fabulous clinicians that'll take place during the festival. And we also have a jam session for young students called the RMF Jam, or the Penske RMF Jam. And they get a chance to play with us, with the professional players. So it's something that's very community-centered. It's education, but it's also making sure that we are inspiring the next generation.
So what's the age on that? I mean, does it vary as far as who comes to that?
Yeah, I think it's middle school through high school.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pausing because Mike is somewhere in the atmosphere. If I'm wrong, he'll tell us.
He'll just scream it out.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, and that happens at the beginning of the week. So we've got the first weekend of the Jazz Fest starting on the 4th, 5th, 6th, and then we've got a lot of this educational component in that beginning of the week. Correct?
Exactly. And that way, the festival is just a great 10-day festival, and having the educational component really, again, involves the community, takes advantage of the fact that you have these fantastic clinicians who come in town for the festival. And of course, a lot of our homegrown musicians are involved too, from the Berks County area.
Absolutely. And that last Sunday, on the 13th at noon, this is this fabulous finale where we're going to be enjoying some of this coffee from Marcus Anderson. And tell us who's going to be performing with that. I love the brunch. I just think the energy with that is just amazing. That's the Grand Ballroom too.
It's in the Grand Ballroom. We've never done this before. It is the culmination of the festival on that Sunday. It is a brunch, and as you alluded to, the talent is fantastic. Eric Marienthal, Karen Briggs, who's one of the world-class violinists. She'll be there. Who am I missing?
Well, let me look it up. Okay, here it is. This is the brunch, that finale.
It's going to be incredible.
It is. So let's see who's there.
Look who's there. Marcus Anderson,
Brian Simpson,
Eric Marienthal,
Julian Vaughn,
Bobby Lyle, Rebecca Jade.
Oh yeah, Curtis McCain.
Yeah, and Andrea Lisa. I mean, these are
great.
These are great artists.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm going to buy a ticket. Oh, I don't have to buy a ticket. I'm performing. But if I wasn't, I would buy a ticket.
So we need to encourage all of our friends to do that too, because this is going to be a great way to bring the festival to this great conclusion.
It really will be the highlight, the culminating event. And it'll be a wonderful party. So,
absolutely.
Not to be missed.
You've seen it grow, and you've seen all different ages and people come to this. This is a place where music really connects us in such a way, because you've got a long festival. It's the 4th through the 13th, so there's a lot of different things to experience, lots of different types of jazz. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I think John Ernesto, he does a great job of curating the festival, making sure that there's something for everyone. And I love always the diversity that's in the festival in terms of the programming, and it's the high caliber, high quality acts. There's one special show that you won't see anywhere else, is a tribute to David Sanborn. So there's those unique kind of performances, and Brian Culberson will close out. You'll do an amazing job at the festival as well. So you have some of the up and coming newer artists as well. So I love the range of the festival in terms of what you described, the ages that are represented on stage, and different places in the arc of their careers, from the folks who have been seasoned like me for a long time to the emerging artists as well.
Yeah, I think that's what's so amazing about this. You're going to find shows that you won't find anywhere else that come together.
Yeah.
And I love the fact how accessible everybody is, because you see people walking down the halls at the hotel, and you can just have a conversation with the artists and with the attendees too.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
You'll see them at breakfast, or you'll see them at lunch, and the artists are, like you said, accessible. And I think we live in a time where, especially in our genre, that the artists appreciate that close connection with the people that support their work. And there's no better place than at the Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest for that.
Well, that's a good way to pull it all together. There is no better place than the 34th annual Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest. It's happening in Reading, Pennsylvania. It is April 4th through the 13th, and you can get your tickets where, Gerald?
At BerksJazzFest.com.
Don't miss the 34th annual Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest, presented by Berks Arts, April 4th through the 13th, 2025. Celebrated as one of the best festivals in the world, including top-name traditional, contemporary, and R&B performers. 10 exciting days of concerts, jams, and more. The 34th annual Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest. Tickets on sale now. For the latest artist, venue, and scheduling info, and for tickets, check out BerksJazzFest.com.